You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a historic home in Webb City is set to be demolished, and in its place, a new Popeyes will be built. Our very own Fernanda Silva has more on this story.
And a teen texting for help ends in the arrest of 2 people.
And we've got a pretty pleasant start for us on this Tuesday morning, but it is going to get hot as the day goes on, and as we head into our Wednesday. We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 a.m. now on this Tuesday morning, and it is about 10 to 15 degrees warmer this morning than it was yesterday morning.
Yeah, it is.
And that's unfortunately a pretty good indicator as to how warm it's going to get as we head later into the morning as well. But some good news, we at least have some scattered storm chances out there.
Well, for people who work outside, especially like construction crews and stuff, they need to take extra caution and drink lots and lots of fluids.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. We actually have an alert day heading into tomorrow because we're talking lower 100s tomorrow. Heat index values easily up to 110. So yeah, anybody working outdoors needs to be taking precautions, and there's some folks working outdoors in Webb City. That's
right. A Webb City landmark is set to be demolished this week to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant.
Built in 1908, the iconic house on South Madison Street once belonged to the mayor at the time, George Washington Moore. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the details.
Kids of the last owner of the mansion on South Madison Street, Lene and Brent wanted to keep one last memory of the house where they grew up in. A piece of Lene's room wallpaper.
I keep coming over here torturing myself, stalking the demolition guys and just trying to soak up. But yeah, it's tough.
Connie Sweet, Lene and Brent's mom, lived in the house for more than half a century. When her husband died 11 years ago, paying the bills got harder. Then she decided to sell it.
I know she tried so hard to sell it, and it didn't sell, which was sad because it's a beautiful home.
Our family, more than anyone, was hoping it was someone that could restore it and that it would still be here.
Last year, Popeyes bought it to build its new location. Then, Connie moved to Arkansas. Last week, the demolition process started.
I sat out here when they started it the other morning. I brought my lawn chair out and watched, and it just was an emotional thing.
The pool was the first part of the house to be broken into pieces. Now they're working on the garages, and once that is done, then the house will be demolished.
Yes, it was a very, very well built house. We're going to use an excavator and some dump trucks and a skid steer.
According to the city of Webb City, the house is not on any list of historic registers. Brent moved to the house when he was 5 years old. Even though he's sad about seeing it go, he understands it's for the best.
It's sad, but it's just the cost of keeping it up has just gotten so out of hand. As you can see, the house has gotten so far that you just can't bring it back to life.
Now Connie and her kids keep a good relationship with the new owners of the property.
The 2 guys with Popeyes are awesome, and that's made the whole transition much easier. I mean, they've just been great to deal with and very good and patient with my mom.
Living in the house across the street for 45 years, Penn has seen the landscape on South Madison Street change.
I can remember when they started doing the redoing Madison Street. My daughter, who was raised here, thought it was so sad because she always thought Madison Street was the prettiest street in Webb City.
The mansion's neighbor, Christina, bought her house only 2 years ago. She shared her concerns about living next to a fast food restaurant.
It just worries me about, my grandkids playing here and stuff like that, and the noise is going to be extra loud. Like, we have little ones, and we have pets.
In Webb City, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
It's an impressive house. Even in the state it is in, it's still an impressive home. Beautiful home.
It's too bad there wasn't someone that wanted to take that opportunity, that could afford to take that opportunity to move it and restore it.
I think that's probably the biggest restrictive thing on there is trying to relocate that home. But
well, to honor the history of the house, though, the new Popeyes location will have a historical wall incorporating columns of the house and displaying pictures in it.
Yeah, Popeye's construction scheduled to start by August 1st, and the store should be running about 4 months after that. And we've got ourselves hot conditions forecast for today. We're getting some clouds from some thunderstorm activity down in in central Oklahoma. It's to our southwest in central Oklahoma. Now, as we go through the rest of today, that's not going to stop us from getting hot. And we could see a few scattered pop-up thunderstorms across the area as we head into the afternoon and into the early evening hours. And that clears out. And as we head through our Wednesday's going to be very hot and mostly clear for the majority of the day. It won't be until later in the evening. We'll see a few stray showers out in southeast Kansas initially. And then as we go further into the into the night, we're going to see more thunderstorm development across the area late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Some of those storms could be strong, possibly severe out there, and this is where that is, that elevated risk for tomorrow night into Thursday morning for some of us. And then we have a low wind risk because we could see additional showers and thunderstorms building in across the area late on Thursday evening. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. You can see that cloud cover out there, and you can see not as much sunshine either on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, and that's from the clouds from those storms off in central Oklahoma, but they won't give us any relief from the heat, unfortunately. We're at 73 in Joplin, partly cloudy skies out there. Quick check of temperatures around the region, like I said, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than yesterday. 72 Nevada, Lamar, and Carthage. We've got 73 Fort Scott, Iola, 76 now Chanute, 74 in Miami. As we get our morning started, those cloudy skies will continue. We're going to go into the mid-80s by late morning. Highs today, mid-90s, partly cloudy skies, some pop-up storms, and we could potentially see even today heat index values approaching 100 or slightly above. We'll have more on your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A teen texts she is in trouble, which leads to a police pursuit in Bates County, Missouri. About 10:15 Sunday night, authorities received information about a female who was 18 years old, held against her will by two men and taken from the Kansas City area. According to the report, the girl's mother had received text messages from her daughter describing the two males and the vehicle. A trooper and a Bates County deputy spotted the vehicle at about 10:20 and engaged in pursuit. Authorities were able to box in the vehicle and take the suspects into custody. Female was reunited with her family. A search of the vehicle revealed a Draco AK-47 pistol. This is a developing story, and you can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com as new information becomes available. The body of a child is recovered in an Oklahoma lake, and another child is still missing. Divers are searching Lake Overholser near Oklahoma City. They believe the two children floated downstream. Now, police rescued two other people. The two rescued say the children are 10 and 11 years old. Manhunt is over for a suspect wanted for attempted murder in southeast Kansas. Authorities captured 61-year-old Charles Amos late Sunday night in Oklahoma City. The Cherokee County Sheriff says Amos was driving a stolen van when he ran out of gas in Cherokee County, Kansas, and then tried to siphon gas out of a farm truck. The sheriff says when the truck's owner and family confronted Amos, he fired 2 rounds from a shotgun at one of them and then fled in a pickup owned by one of the family members. Law officers from Kansas, Oklahoma, and the U.S. Marshal's Office worked together on a day-long manhunt, ending with the arrest just before midnight Sunday night. Charges against Amos include attempted murder and aggravated robbery. Authorities arrest a Chiefs superfan who was on the run, accused in a string of bank robberies. 28-year-old Xavier Bubadar, also known as Chiefsaholic, is charged in federal court for bank theft and transporting stolen property across state lines. He was a fugitive for the past 4 months. Now authorities have arrested him in Lincoln, California. The U.S. Attorney's Office suspects him of being involved in a series of bank robberies across the Midwest and laundering stolen proceeds through casinos. Violent crime in Kansas dropped last year compared to previous years, and that's according to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's 2022 Kansas Crime Index report. The report says violent crime decreased by 4.3% in 2022 compared to 2021. However, despite the decrease, the number of violent crimes in 2022 remained 9.2% above the 10-year average. It has not yet returned to pre-pandemic levels. Well, a Lawrence County, Missouri man died from injuries suffered in a crash last Thursday. Authorities say 38-year-old Jared Luters of Aurora was driving east on US 60 in Verona when he crossed the center line and hit 82-year-old Mance Wilkerson's car head-on. Wilkerson died. Luters suffered serious injuries. A Mulberry, Kansas family's 2 horses were killed in a trailer fire near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the fifth-wheel trailer. Family was driving back from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. Up next, Olivia Ryan from Special Olympics Kansas steps into the studio and tells us all about an upcoming bowling tournament happening in Pittsburgh.
And later, AI in Hollywood is causing some major controversy. Will it cause actors to join the writers on the picket line? We'll take a look at that. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. But first, got ourselves another live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage. And a reminder, that kicked off on Saturday.
Mutt 90th in Maine and Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in the studio today, Olivia Ryan, the Southeast Region Director for Special Olympics Kansas. She's here to tell us all about an upcoming bowling event for Special Olympics Kansas. Olivia, welcome to the show. Great to have you here so early in the morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. So you've got this special event coming up. Tell us about this. What's going on?
Definitely. So tomorrow is our Southeast Regional Bowling for Adults. It's going to be at Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh, Kansas. We have over 200 athletes registered to bowl. We'll have 3 different flights going with all of our athletes. It should be a really good time.
And what exactly will this do? What are you raising money for? How does this help? Really?
So we're a nonprofit. We put on these events for our athletes. We have regional events that feed into state events. Our state event, I believe, is August 11th and 12th in Kansas City. So if our athletes would like to go on and do state after regionals, they have an invitation to do so.
And you said you've got more than 200 adult athletes registered. How does that compare to the years past on this?
Definitely, we're definitely getting closer to pre-COVID numbers. COVID kind of, as it did to everyone, our numbers went a little bit down, and now they're starting to climb back up. So we're really excited to see those numbers growing and grow into probably a second day of bowling here. We have so many. So
that's got to be fantastic. Like you said, guys, COVID really messed a lot of things up across the whole country, the whole world.
Definitely,
really. So being able to get back to this and start to see it grow, how essential is it for people to participate in something like this?
Definitely, it is just. It's so important. It's so important for every side and every person that shows up. The idea of inclusion and having that socialization, the competition, and they're so sweet and kind. It doesn't matter if they get first. It doesn't matter if they get last. They're just happy to be there. They're happy to receive their medals, and they're happy to spend some time with their friends.
Honestly, that's how I think all of us really need to perceive the world.
Definitely.
It's not a competition. It's about being with your friends and having a great time.
Exactly.
And this is a great opportunity for some of us to maybe remind ourselves of that. So
definitely.
And is registration still open? Can people still get signed up for this?
So registration is closed for our athletes, but we need volunteers. If you go to our Facebook page, and I will share that. We are down some volunteers. It is the middle of the summer and the middle of the week, so I completely understand, but we can totally use some people to come and do scores and cheer on our athletes, and there's shifts available too.
All right, sounds good. So you'll have information on that for volunteers, and of course we will as well at KOAMnewsnow.com. Olivia, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And we will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Need us. Injured by a truck? Call Aaron Sachs and Associates.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is coming up on 7:19 now on this Tuesday morning here in the 4 states. Let's talk about what we are expecting in terms of our heat and our thunderstorm chances, because there's a lot going on. We will have these clouds from a thunderstorm complex, which looking at our radar is way down into central Oklahoma. So we're not going to see much from that. But do you see those little pop-up storms? We could see a few of those as we head into the afternoon and into the early evening hours across the 4 states. And then that'll clear out, and we're going to be mild overnight. We're going to be dangerously hot as we head into our Wednesday. And then late Wednesday, we're going to see additional showers, initially just some showers in southeast Kansas, say around 7, 8 o'clock. And then later into the evening and overnight, we'll actually see some organized thunderstorms try to roll through the area. Some of these could be strong, possibly severe, something we'll keep an eye on for you. They don't last very long, unfortunately, but they will be there as we head through the night. We'll go into our Thursday, and our Thursday looking to be a repeat of Wednesday, maybe a degree or two cooler, with additional thunderstorms as we go into Thursday night. So let's talk about tomorrow. We're talking late tomorrow evening into the overnight. We have an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms for the majority of our northern counties. And then we go into Thursday, we do have a low-end risk for some stronger storms. And of course, just today, we have the isolated thunderstorm chances with those pop-up storms. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. We got cloud cover looking back off to the west, and as we look at the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, I'm not seeing much sunshine there because we've got those clouds down in Oklahoma, and here they are at 7th and range line, and you can see they are going to be sticking around for a while. We're at 73 in Joplin right now. Unfortunately, the clouds don't do much for our temperatures. We're looking at 72 Lamar, Carthage, 71 Pittsburgh, 73 Chitopa, and 74 in Miami. And let me get right to the 7-day forecast for you. Today, we're looking at mid-90s, heat index values close to 100. Tomorrow, 101, with heat index values easily pushing 110. And we're 99 on Thursday, 94 Friday, and we'll go back into the upper 80s as we head into the weekend. But please, over the next few days, make sure if you're outdoors that you are taking precautions. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this, but first we've got ourselves another live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage.
Get DirecTV with or without a satellite.
Welcome back. We've got David Grubb in studio this morning here to tell us about a big golf tournament coming up in Nevada and what it's raising money for. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you. The golf tournament is just part of it. That provides money for our 2 main children's programs.
Right.
One was the Mo Chip, which I was on last month.
And so during Bushwhacker Days, you did IDing of different kids. Did you have a good turnout for that?
No.
No.
It rained. It messed up the whole day. We only had 12 kids, but that's 12 that got some protection. That's all it was to it.
Well, and then hopefully you'll be able to do it again. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the other one is what's called creating a partnership. All the money from the tournament goes to our charity account. We don't use this for the lodge at all. And this provides needed materials for school kids.
Okay.
We sponsor 3 different schools, Nevada, Sheldon, and Northeast Vernon.
So what do the schools use the money for?
Okay, they use it, the big expenditure is clothing.
Clothing.
For the disadvantaged kids. Then it's also school supplies, hygiene products.
Whatever they need, yeah.
And some for if the school has a certain need, rekeying the buildings, making them more secure, water dispensers and so forth. Just anything that's going to help the school and the kids and let them get along.
Okay, let's talk about the golf tournament itself, when it is and how you can enter and what people need to know about it.
Okay, the golf tournament is the 29th of this month.
Okay.
Before the tournament starts, we have cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
This one bakery only donated 90 for us.
Only 90.
And then we have bratwurst, hamburgers, hot dogs.
So lots of food.
Lots of food, and then potato chips, soft drinks. They're just coolers all over the course. Help themselves. That's all included in the fee.
Okay. Okay, so it's a 4-person scramble that day with
Correct.
a shotgun start. We'll have all the specific details for the tournament on our website, so people can look that up if they
Right.
want to participate. But they do need to register by a certain date, correct?
Correct. I believe that's the 26th, yes.
Okay.
And all 4 of the par 3s are insured holes.
Ooh.
So a hole in one on number 18 is $5,000. Number 4 is $500. Number 7 is a year of Omaha Steaks. And on number 11, it's a set of Callaway irons.
And I saw that all golfers receive a coupon for a free golf club too.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so there's a lot of perks to joining it.
Then we have a silent auction also.
Okay.
And we've got a lot of nice prizes on that.
Okay. Well, you can find out more information and where to go to register if you go to our website on the morning show page later this morning, KOAMnewsnow.com. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Equal opportunity employer.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. A Hickory County, Missouri deputy is now charged with multiple counts of rape and sodomy in Webster County. Marina Silva shows us the court records.
This man, Keith Bridges, was indicted by a grand jury in May for 2 counts of rape and 1 count of sodomy in Webster County. He's a deputy in Hickory County. The sheriff there would not do an interview about the case, but says Bridges is on unpaid leave until the case is finished. According to court documents, a woman who we are not identifying says she was on a trip with Bridges a few years ago, the first time it happened. She says she woke up to Bridges pulling her hair before he assaulted her. The woman says the second and third times was while she was staying with Bridges and his wife in 2021. She says Bridges' wife was at work when it happened. The woman says she was afraid to say anything because she, quote, has seen his rage, end quote. But in January, she told Bridges' wife, and his wife is the one who called 911. Detectives interviewed them both in January, and Bridges' wife said, quote, he is a scary man when he gets angry.
According to court documents, Bridges' wife also filed for divorce last year. He's due back in court on that case August 7th.
Well, we've got ourselves a hot one today and tomorrow and into our Thursday. And we've got some cloud cover this morning thanks to a thunderstorm complex way down in central Oklahoma. We won't get anything from that, but as we go into the afternoon, take a look. We could see some pop-up storms, say starting around 2 o'clock, running through about 8 o'clock or so across the area. And then we go into our Wednesday. We're talking temperatures tomorrow, lower 100s, heat index values at least 110. We have an alert day for Wednesday because of that, so make sure you're taking precautions. And then late Wednesday evening into the overnight, we'll start to actually see some organized shower and thunderstorm activity make its way into the area. And some of that could be strong, possibly severe, so we'll keep an eye on it for you. We have that elevated risk for the majority of our northern counties for tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. We could see another round of storms Thursday night as well that could potentially be a little bit on the strong side. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A historic building, the Reddings Mill Bar and Grill, goes to the auction block. The property in Reddings Mill, Missouri, has a rich history dating back to the 1800s as a home and then a resort and then a restaurant. The auction includes several pieces of furniture and appliances as well as the building. The business says the auction will begin before 10 in the morning at the Newton County Courthouse in Neosho. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Charlene Patton comes down from Topeka to join us in Studio K. She's making a brownie triple chocolate bark.
And as we've mentioned, we've got a hot day across the 4 states today, hotter tomorrow and hot again on Thursday with some scattered storms. Taking a look at that forecast when we come back. But first, we have ourselves another live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Our good friend Charlene Patton down from the Kansas Soybean Commission. Welcome back to the show. Had a really good custard recipe for us last week. This week, you've got something maybe even better, especially for the kids, because we're talking about getting kids in the kitchen this month.
Oh, yes, and kids love brownies, right? It's
they
one of the
certainly do.
favorite cookies. So we are going to do kind of a classic. It's a brownie bark, and we're going to bake it in a thin pan, so then they can break it into pieces or cut it into shapes. So let's get started here. I've put in the microwave and melted 2 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and a half a cup of margarine, which is 1 stick, and that's our soy product. But there's soy in this chocolate too. There's soy lecithin in there that makes it nice and smooth and creamy. Look how nice and creamy that is. Now you're going to add our sugar.
Okay.
That's granulated sugar that we're going to add, and then you're going to add 1 egg. And again, this is an easy recipe for kids because it's just a bowl and a spoon here. And usually when you're working with children, we have some tips on our website, but use a bigger bowl than maybe what you'd plan to use. Helps keep the kitchen cleaner.
Yeah.
And now you're going to add the water. And you can have kids help. Like I used a bigger measuring cup there, but you know, all ages can help with measuring and pouring things in. We have a little website guide. It's called The Thrill of Skill that was provided and shared with us by the Home Baking Association. And it has tips for kids starting at age 2, what you can do in the kitchen to get kids excited about being with mom and dad in the kitchen. And then a little bit of vanilla. And then you're going to add our flour. That's 3/4 of a cup of flour. And then we have 1/3 of a cup of cocoa that we're going to add. And that's all of our ingredients. So easy.
Come on now.
Did it want to come out?
It doesn't want to come out of there, does it?
Let me get that in there. Kind of caked in there, wasn't it? There
just
we go.
a little bit, but see, this is why sometimes you've got to help the kids. Charlene's got to help me.
That's right.
You got to help the kids.
That's right. And when we're in the summer, it's great to have kids kind of go through the recipe with you, sequencing, getting things in order, getting out all the supplies before you even start. Have them read through the recipe if they're older. And then another great idea is if you're going to double the recipe, and my recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of water, then what would I need? A half a cup.
Right.
So great to have them practice some of those fractions and things that they would need.
Yes.
Now this is our kind of a jelly roll baking pan, and I would actually put parchment paper down here and pour this on. Yeah. Pour this on and then spread it out with a knife so you have a thin layer, and then the kids can sprinkle on, gosh, all different kinds of candies. I've got 1/3 cup of just mini chocolate chips that we'd sprinkle on here, and bake that now at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to just see that you can touch it lightly on top so it's nice and firm. But then when it comes out, it's going to set up, and then you're going to see that you have, you can see the chocolate on top there.
Yeah.
They can break it into pieces. They could take a pizza cutter, cut it into sticks, and you can see we put some in the jar there.
Yeah, we've got some sticks here.
So that they're sticking up. That's kind of fun to do. And then we just broke some into pieces there that are in the bowl for kind of a snack.
Nice little pieces
Easy recipe for kids this summer to make. And another idea for kids this summer might be pack that up in a little bag and take it to a neighbor and say hello.
Yeah. It's always good to maintain good relations with your neighbors, and what better way with some nice, tasty snacks.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. Well, Charlene, of course, if you missed this, we'll have the information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Where else can they go for this?
They should go to kansassoybeans.org, or you can call our 800 number 877-KS-Soybean.
All right, Charlene, thanks for coming in again this week. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Hello, I'm Ry Addison. Welcome back to the Finance.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:43 now on this Tuesday morning. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. It is getting cloudy out there, and we are cloudy from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. And that is because of showers and thunderstorms, a complex of those, down over central Oklahoma. We're getting some of the edge clouds here, but it's enough that it's keeping us a little darker out there this morning. We are at 73 in Joplin right now. That dew point humidity both starting to climb, and it's going to be hot and muggy the next 2 or 3 days across the 4 states. We're warming up too. 74 Iola, Fort Scott, 73 Nevada, Lamar, and Carthage, 72 Pittsburgh, warm spot 76 in Chanute, 75 Yates Center, 74 Miami, and 72 in Neosho. And as we get our morning started, we're going to have those mostly cloudy skies initially. We're going to make it to the mid-80s by late morning. We are looking at highs right around the mid-90s, but some good news at least is this cloud cover looks like it might impact our temperatures just a wee bit and might actually kick us down a couple of degrees. Not like we'll be able to tell, but it might help a little bit. And then as we head into the afternoon, some pop-up thunderstorms possible. We could see heat index values today close to 100 out there, so make sure you're taking precautions. We clear out this evening. We're going to go back into the mid-70s and be partly cloudy overnight. And then we have an alert day on Wednesday, and that is because of these temperatures that are going to be pushing 101 degrees outside, possibly a little higher, and that also means heat index values could easily be reaching 110 degrees, perhaps higher, so make sure you're taking precautions. We'll have some evening thunderstorms over late night and overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. Some of those could be strong to severe. We'll keep an eye on that for you. We get hot again on Thursday. Temperatures on Thursday, by the way, yeah, look at that. We're talking 99 degrees. Evening thunderstorms again, though. Evening thunderstorms again Friday, mid-90s. After that, we cool down, if you will, back into the upper 80s, low 90s as we head into the weekend, the start of next week, with some additional scattered storm chances by Sunday and Monday. That is a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Tanya Bach with a check of Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Amazon Prime Day officially kicks off today. The 2-day discount event that runs through tomorrow is expected to lure buyers in search of super bargains. This year, Amazon is offering invite-only deals for some of its hottest products that they're fairly certain will sell out. Shoppers have to request invites to purchase the goods, but are not required to buy them if chosen. In guidance published last week, the Better Business Bureau reminded consumers to watch out for fake Amazon Prime Day scams, from look-alike websites to emails and phone calls. Comedian Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI and Meta. She's alleging that the technology companies developed artificial intelligence tools that freely copied her memoir, The Bedwetter, without permission. Silverman's lawyers say training AI by having it process others' intellectual property, including copyrighted material like books, amounts to grift. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Show is having an inventory reduction sale. Our lot is packed full and we need to make some room. We have beautiful homes in every price range, now marked down to crazy low.
Then Tony Award-winning actress Jane Krakowski is here. Jane talks about what's in store for season 2 of Schmigadoon on the next Tamron Hall.
Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
Hollywood actors could soon be joining writers on the picket lines, with a deadline to reach a new deal with studios just days away. One of the big issues revolves around artificial intelligence and how it can create performances that don't exist.
In our series, The Age of AI, Jonathan Vigliotti takes a look at how this growing technology is transforming the industry. And a warning, some of the images in the report include flashing strobe lights.
At the age of 80, Harrison Ford is starring as Indiana Jones, both old and young. Audiences could soon see a new performance by James Dean, who died in 1955. And an upcoming film will feature Tom Hanks and Robin Wright as they appeared in Forrest Gump nearly 30 years ago.
I'm gonna show you some magic.
This man became famous as a young Tom Cruise, a makeover from the AI company Metaphysic.
You know, I do all my own stunts, obviously.
It is now immortalizing actors through image capture like this to appear in future films without ever being on set. CEO Tom Graham.
There is a move now from many people to preserve their likeness that in the future could be used to create their performance. This is going to be a core asset for every performer.
You know, I could be hit by a bus tomorrow, and that's it. But my performances can go on and on and on and on and on.
But how that likeness is preserved, who has access to it, and who cashes in on it are key concerns of SAG-AFTRA, the union that represents actors.
We're not anti-AI. It is okay for a performer's likeness, image, voice to be digitally modeled and captured, provided they know exactly what it's going to be used for and see that there are appropriate safeguards in place to make sure that that data is not made available beyond its intended use.
Safeguards that currently don't exist.
We need to focus heavily on the ethics and how we deploy AI. And so we need to really work hard to move our institutions very, very quickly to be able to accommodate some of these new potential outcomes.
We were just talking, I think we need to send Dow Quick to one of these places, and Dow Quick will be here forever. Forever immortalized Dow Quick.
I can see a lot of like movie industry, on-air personalities, contracts needing to be rewritten to include something about their, because there's a lot of image and likeness ownership issues in there. So
I can see definitely where it does pose some problems, but I don't think anybody in the 4 states would have a problem with an immortal Dow Quick.
He is immortal.
That's true. Well, I don't think we need to do it because I think you're right. He is immortal. Well, one thing we want to tell you about real quick is how hot it's going to be in our thunderstorm chances. So let's take a look at the future track. Now, as we head this afternoon, we're getting some cloud cover from some storms down in central Oklahoma. That'll eventually break up, but as you saw on the future track, we could see a few pop-up thunderstorms across the area this afternoon into the early evening hours before that'll clear out. And then as we head into our Wednesday, it's going to be hot. We're looking at mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures on Wednesday pushing into the lower 100s, heat index values approaching 110. So this is some dangerous heat as we head into our Wednesday across the area. Then we go into the evening, we'll see a few scattered showers initially, and then we'll start to see some more organized shower and thunderstorm activity late evening and into the overnight, Wednesday into early Thursday morning. That'll clear out, and then we'll see additional storms Thursday evening as well. So let's take a look. We have an elevated risk for some strong, possibly severe storms tomorrow night into Thursday morning. We'll keep an eye on that, and we could see some strong storms with Thursday night's activity as well. We'll take another look at your forecast, how hot it's going to be, and our additional rain chances when we come back.
New option in town for your vet care. Mutt Medics is now open at 20th and Main in Joplin.
Rifle badge during his service. We're proud to salute Wayne Killingsworth, a 4-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A trailer fire takes the lives of 2 horses near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the Mulberry-owned trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the fifth-wheel trailer. The owners were driving back from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. Webb City plans to demolish a city landmark to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant built in 1908. The house on South Madison Street once belonged to the then mayor George Washington Moore. City of Webb City says the house is not on any list of historic registers. To honor the history, the new Popeyes location will have a historical wall incorporating columns of the house and will display pictures on it. Reddings Mill Bar and Grill heads to the auction block. The property in Reddings Mill, Missouri has a rich history dating back to the 1800s as a home and then a resort and then restaurant. The auction includes several pieces of furniture and appliances as well as the building. The business says the auction will begin before 10 this morning at the Newton County Courthouse in Neosho. Well, on Monday, the Girard Public Library hosted a presentation on raising backyard chickens. An expert with the K-State Research and Extension Office delivered that presentation. It covered caring for chickens, their housing needs and design, and the basics of incubating eggs.
We've got a hot one for us today. Temperatures right around the mid-90s. Heat index values could reach near 100. Well, partly cloudy skies as we end the afternoon. Some pop-up thunderstorms possible through the afternoon into the early evening hours. Clearing out later in the evening, partly cloudy overnight and mild mid-70s. And as we look ahead, we have an alert day for tomorrow because we're looking at highs, lower 100s. Heat index values easily at 110. And we could see some strong storms late Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning, and maybe some strong storms Thursday evening. More storms on Friday, and then we cool down by the weekend into the upper 80s.
All right, not looking forward to that triple-digit temperature day.
Not at all.
Well, a rare signed first edition of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby is going up for auction.
According to auction house Christie's, it's part of a massive collection that belonged to Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts. Other items up for sale include rare editions of books by George Orwell, Agatha Christie, and James Joyce. They could sell from anywhere from $1,000 to $383,000.
That's very specific. The collection also includes memorabilia from jazz musician Charlie Parker, as well as scores belonging to American composer Irving Berlin and George Gershwin. The sale will take place in London on September 28th, as well as online from September 15th through the 29th.
I'm sure we'll be right there to start bidding on some of these things.
Sure.
I've got a winning lottery ticket that's worth $1. I'll start with that. I'm sure I could get something for $1.
Okay.
Well, we want to thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.